So I have here my laptop.
Oh my
You
goodness.
can't read it because it's blurred out because it's background. Apparently, Zoom says. But I will. I do have questions here about you. You understand the topic of what I'm about to ask you about, right?
Well, something about drums and building drums, or why do I do it, or whatever.
It
Something about that.
it's about Native American drums. I've talked. I'm focusing. I think I'm focusing more on hand drums than I am powwow drums.
Yeah,
But
hand drums is what I am familiar with.
learning about both would be beneficial. Though the focus being hand drums, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's what I know best.
So then we'll start with what I've been told you know best, and that's the craftsmanship. Um, I don't understand things like why the materials were chosen, because I understand that each part of the drum has a spiritual aspect to native culture, and I'm sure you have a better understanding of how the way the drum is made mixes in with the spirituality of the drum's purpose. I feel like you understand that,
Yes.
or to some degree. What's
Well,
happening?
I know that the materials are very important. They're made from because Native Americans never wasted any part of an animal that they killed for food.
Hmm.
The, the meat was eaten, the hooves were kept, the horns, bones to make glue. The bladders were kept to store pemmican in and to make water jugs. The hides were turned into clothing and teepees, shelter. No part of an animal was ever wasted. And the drum signifies the heartbeat of Mother Earth herself. And as all things spring from Mother Earth, the drum represents the heartbeat of the earth. And so to honor Mother Earth, the hides were used from animals such as elk, buffalo, deer. I don't think they ever used smaller game than that because the hide wouldn't have been tough enough to survive that. Like rabbit skins would have been used for baby clothing, that kind of thing. But deer, antelope, elk, buffalo, moose, bear, all those sort of things could be used to produce a drum. And the woods used were also considered sacred. The wood gave the fire to keep them warm and to cook food. The trees gave you shelter, coolness. They produced the air you breathe. They shed the water and filtered things. So trees are also quite sacred in Native American spirituality. Now I can't speak to any particular tribe. That's a general how I understand it.
Yeah.
And the drum, that heartbeat of Mother Earth, helps us to focus our prayer and our thoughts and our song to honor Mother Earth and all the materials that went into making that drum. It's not a toy, it's a spiritual tool, it's a sacred thing.
Yeah. I compared it to cast iron skillets earlier in the way that like playing them over time makes their song more beautiful as the owner becomes more connected with it through prayer. I wanted to say
Yeah.
that.
And since I build them and I play the ones I build, it has even deeper meaning for me. I just was called to do that. I didn't know how. I never took a class, but I somehow knew how to do it.
Yeah.
That spirit.
The other question regarding like the craftsmanship specifically with the materials, I understand that they were picked for reasons other than practicality, because I'm sure out of the chosen animals, there was one who made the best quality drum. And I believe that these materials were picked for like a spiritual or like a deeper meaning than just, oh, they fit good, or oh, the area we live in has more of these animals. So can you
Well, I think that's kind of a given. It's the game that would be plentiful would
mm-hmm,
be the game used. Like if you were in an area where there were a lot of bison, the bison supported many tribes. all throughout the nation. On the coast, you might not see that many bison, but you would likely see elk and bear.
Hmm.
You would see those kind of animals. I do not know if anyone ever used like coastal Salish um, Aleutian tribes, Aleuts and uh, Inuits and the coastal tribes out on the west, Alaska and up the seacoast. They would have had more access to things like walrus and seal, and they might have those hides might have been used as well. But mostly a lot of I'm digressing a little bit, but what I know of is mostly tribes that were on the continental U.S. and mostly in the Midwest,
Yeah,
like what Lakota, what the Sioux Nation would have used.
that's perfect. Um, Here's another thing I'd like to know about is the actual like individuality of the drums. I know you don't have a blueprint and I know you don't automate the process. Each drum is handmade with a specific, I'm assuming, passion and love for the drum. And I'd like to
Mhm.
know what are some of the things that you do to like make each drum unique and what do they mean?
Well, I actually don't make the drum unique. The hide and the wood coming together and bonding together to make a drum is what makes that drum unique. And each and every one is going to be just as unique as the animal and the tree that it was made from. You'll never find two that will sound exactly the same. It can be the same drum maker with the same diameter hoop or frame, the same thickness of elk hide, and they're each going to be individual. Because as I take the frame and build a frame, I always seal it up and I bevel the edges. And why do I do that? Is because a very sharp edge in time will wear through that hide. But it's just like trees and everything else, things that are rounded, like a tree is round because when the wind comes by and blows the tree, it goes around the tree. Things that are hard with sharp edges, you'll always find that over time they will wear down on those edges and they'll always become round. They always seem to be round, like the earth is round. So I take those edges on a drum frame and I bevel them because it's less resistance on the drum on the hide against the sharpness and hardness of the wood. It's a way of going with nature and not against it. It's following how I'm getting a little technical here, but I do things like bevel the edges and I seal them up because it prolongs the life of the drum. Like my drum I have in here is the first one I ever made and I kept it. It's 25 years old. It still plays as good as it ever did because I took the time to do those little special things that it came to me that I should do. Like bevel those edges so they're not sharp so they won't cut through the hide so the drum will last longer. Carry my prayer uninterrupted by cuts and voids, soft spots. And as you're making a drum and you soak that stiff rawhide, it becomes as soft and pliant as a dishcloth. And you lay your frame on top of it and you punch your holes all around the edge and you'll tie off a piece of rawhide um, rope or string lacing and you pull it across to the other side directly 180 degrees straight across. And you start out with four, and then you make six, and then you make eight, and 10. I always put 12. I always make 12. And they each represent north, south, east, and west, and all the meridians. As like the planet would be, we have lines of longitude. They wrap around. You could kind of think of the lacing of the drum that way. Then, when you get all of those on there and you have them pulled as tight as you possibly can get them, you will gather up three, pull them together, three that are all together, and pull them together and lace them. Then you pull up the next three and tie them together in the middle. And that creates tension. So when that hide starts to dry out and shrink, it becomes hard and dry. And that was what's going to determine the character, the voice of that drum. If you'd like, I can get that drum and show you the back side of it. It might make more sense to you if you saw that.
Oh, please. It's
It'd take me a second.
Oh, don't worry. I have nowhere to be.
Okay. So you see how that is?
Yes, I do.
So these three at one time, they all met in the middle, like spokes on a bike wheel. And I pulled three together and laced all the way across like this. And then I did the next three. And this is how it ends up. Then you wrap this in deer hide or some kind of cloth, whatever is your choice, string, rope, to make it softer and more decorative. So when you grab it, and that is a 16-inch. This is elk hide. And in here, this is maple. This frame is made out of maple wood. So, and that is how it's built.
Hmm. It's funny because I just got off the interview with, Sandy,
Yeah.
and she said her favorite drums were the 16 to 18 inches ones because of their deep, rich voice. I thought that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And this one is 16. Well, I'm glad you
That's
interviewed
beautiful.
your grandma Sandy, because if it wasn't for your grandma Sandy, I would have never found these drums, and the building of drums would have never found. So she's a conduit. Through me knowing her, the drum came through her
Which
to
is
me.
beautiful in its own right.
Yes, it is. So,
Well, you're the maker. That's
well,
what that's what I call you.
well, I think of myself not as the maker. I think of myself as the conduit.
Hmm.
The materials come to me, and creator or spirit works through my hands to produce this. I don't really think this is so much me as I'm a tool used by the tool of creator to do this. This is what creator has me doing. So when creator calls, one responds and one must listen. You can resist, but it just go with it from the get
It
go, and you
just
save yourself a lot of grief.
just sucks if you go against what the creator's trying to give you, what trying to tell you.
Yeah, you'll just make a hard road for yourself.
I would know.
Well, don't we all? We all been there. We were all 19 at one time.
Let me ask you a question about the design of the drums, because I understand that they are unique in the imperfection of the materials and the differing craftsmanship. But I'm curious, why are or why aren't there any like physical drawings or imprints on them?
I think it's because they're intuitive. Well, there are many people who, you mean schematics that a person can go to a book on it?
No, I imagine like drawing on the drum, like putting
Yeah.
symbols and pictures on the drum, whether it's like
Well,
handmade or not.
what I would do, uh, personally, this is what I would do. This drum, I don't know if you can see, but see all these spots on this?
Oh, I see the spots, yes.
And I don't know why that was. The rawhide came to me that way. So when this rawhide was processed, I think there may have been some impurities in the solution used. which like maybe some flecks of iron or rust or something. And these spots are permanently in this hide and always have been. Now, from this inside, I don't know if you can see that, but there are striations here that look to me like where different biological sinew attachment points in the skin itself that formed the hide uh, are there. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can
I can
see
see it.
any
I
of
can see
those,
it. They
but
go across.
yeah, and now on the bottom, you don't see that,
Huh.
but on this part, you do. And that is just something unique to the hide. And so, because of all those spots, the name of this one is spotted elk because it says so. And I never saw, it's not necessarily a blank canvas that I painted on. Now, if you found, I've had many hides come that have no kind of marks of, at all on them. This is the only hide I've ever worked with that was like that, that I've found that was like that. And I didn't pick it, it was sent to me when I ordered it. But I think the drawings are symbolic and probably meaningful to the owner of the drum because most craftsmen will build the drum blank and the person who's coming for that drum, and that's a spirit thing too. I once had a directive from creator, make 5 drums, and I made 5 drums and I took them up to Sandy's shop, and the first one sold right away, like 4 of them sold very quickly, and that fifth one waited around for more than 30 days. And some guy came in the shop and said, oh, it's still here. He'd been saving his money for that 30 days until he got enough, and he hoped when he came to the shop, the drum was still there. That drum bonded with his spirit and waited for him and wouldn't let anybody else buy it, waiting for that guy to come back for it. So that's what I mean about this being, when I build the drum, it's because I don't know why I'm building it, but I do know somebody's coming for it sooner or later because that's creator. That's how creator does things. And this, but as far as painting, I think that the individual that bonds with that drum, that painting might is going to be something very personal to
Mm.
the person. And I don't say you own a drum. I don't own a drum. This drum stays with me because it wants to. And it's never wanted to be painted. It looks to me like painted it already. It's painted from the start with all these spots. So who am I to overwhelm that, you know?
Because it really sounds like the drums don't really need decorated because they kind of have their own decorations, whether it's the form of like those, I can't call
Yeah.
them inky spots, the rust spots, whether it's that or perhaps some
Or
other.
maybe it was a red-headed elk and it has freckles from the sun. I don't know. Maybe all the guys in the herd said called him Freckles. Hey Freck, quite a pattern you got there.
All the freckles. Maybe you know what? Maybe
Who knows what goes on in elk bachelor troops?
because it's less about like generic symbols and more about personalized ideas.
Yes, a summer like that. Many drums that I've seen have the medicine wheel on it,
Yes, because
like the medicine wheel.
and they are also. I think I noticed this when I looked at the back of your drama listening to Grandma Sandy. They're made with like respect to the four directions too, right?
Yes, like north, south, east, and west. And that's why I was saying these are all of these. This one was straight across over here. And then as you pull these three together and wrap it, and then you put those four together, this one actually, when it comes together and gets tied off, it actually would come out over here. So you see, by doing that, that puts more tension on those, and it pulls the tension equally all the way around it. So you have, um, let's see, so you'd have, it would sound pretty much the same. And the center is usually the deepest tones, and the edges are higher tones because it's stretched tighter and closer to this. And here it's more open. So it gives a different, you get different sounds out of different places on these drums. And I do it by hand, so I pull it as tight as I can possibly get it.
Well, I mean, it's also you've proven that you don't do this just for making like this isn't an economic thing for you. It's for the love of the game, if you will. Right.
Yes, it is because when I get, it's a creator thing. When I get and take a notion, when some comes into my head to build drums, I know it's probably not for me. It's probably hanging or comes through me because somebody else is coming to get it, and we don't even know who that is yet. I never know who it is. It's just, but I can tell somebody if somebody came and wanted one of my drums and they didn't have good vibes, I wouldn't sell it to them because
Gross.
it's not a toy.
No, it's a holy artifact.
It's a holy artifact. Indeed, it is.
Cause like I've been told it's a medicine tool,
That's exactly what it is.
and since it is, I hate to say it, probably a dying culture, it will soon. Well, I hope it's not dying culture. I'm doing this is my part of making sure it stays.
Mm,
Um, but it will be eventually a holy artifact because they're not just used to play songs for fun. They send prayers,
yes, they do.
right?
I
Or
have a theory on that. If every home had a drum, a sacred drum, and if people took their aggressiveness or took their pain and their anger and their sadness to their drum and talked it out by playing their drum, I think they'd find a whole lot more peace in their life. There, I think there'd be less domestic violence and just less abusiveness if people got closer to creator through a drum,
I think so
flute,
too.
whatever, drum, flute, whatever is your thing. But
Well, I will talk to you later, Grandma.
all
Thank
right,
you.
this was fun.
Thank you for being an important person, not just to myself, but also as a part of irreplaceable human oral history and tradition. That's what makes
Oh
old
boy,
people important.
that I'll remember forever. Irreplaceable.